Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all of my favorites from 2016. So if you're interested, please be sure to keep watching and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and give this video a thumbs up. So I did want to get started with a couple non-makeup favorites because I did have a few beauty products that really changed the game for me in 2016, and I think the biggest thing was definitely Loving Tan. I was spray tanned like 3.5 weeks out of every month, to the point where a lot of you guys were always like, oh, I love how we are all the same foundation colors and your skin tone matches mine, and I'm like, wait, do you mean when I'm not spray tanned or when I am spray tanned? Because I always had spray tan on. I love this. I just loved how I would spray tan at night, wake up the next morning and look like I slept on the sun, because this gets you so dark. It's incredible. They also have a 2-hour version, which I love even more because it gets you so dark in 2 hours. So I really like Loving Tan. I like the color, how long it lasts. I've just been a huge Loving Tan girl. I was also such a huge fan of the Way Texturizing Hairspray. It's just like Jen Atkins says, it's as if dry shampoo and hairspray had a baby. It just gives you that very, like, you know, PC, effortless texture a la Jean de Mas, Alexa Chung. You could run a brush through it, but you're not going to because it's cute. And I also am such a big fan of Jen Atkins and Way and everything that I even bought the Wasted Dad Cap. It was like 40 bucks, which is way too much money, but I really like Jen Atkins. I really support the brand, so I was like, you know what? This is cute. It's cool. I bought it. Also a big fan of the Garnier Fructis leave-in conditioner. This is like a rich body lotion, but for your hair. It just gets rid of all the dry spots, gets rid of the frizz, makes your hair very soft and plush. I loved it. Sometimes I have really sensitive skin, sometimes I have eczema, so these makeup wipes really changed my life. These are the Simple Facial Cleansing Wipes. Then it says right on the front that they remove even waterproof mascara, which they do. There's no fragrance in these. The cloth itself is very soft and they're really moist and saturated with product, so they don't dry out as you're using them. Takes everything off. At this point, I have gone through so many pouches of these. They're just the best makeup wipes that I've tried. I had 2 main primers this year that were just with me through it all. The first one was the Glossier Priming Moisturizer. I go through tube after tube of this stuff. I mean, I just completely used this one up, got this one. I love this. It doesn't necessarily make your makeup last so much longer, but it's more of like a pre-priming step. I use this every single day before I do my makeup, and even on days when I'm not wearing makeup. It's just a great moisturizer. It's buildable. The more you build onto your skin, the more pillowy and plump your skin feels, and it leaves your skin with a really pretty satin finish. It just has like a really silky texture on the skin. It's quite unique. Check it out if you haven't. And I was also really into the Becca Evermatte Pore Perfecting Primer. So this stuff I use strictly on the schnoz and sometimes on the T-zone, but this is like concrete. I mean, it does not budge. When you put makeup on top of this, my oil does not budge throughout this, and when I want my makeup to stay in the T-zone for a really long time, I always use this, and I use it on my nose pretty much every single day. The Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow was my favorite illuminator to use underneath makeup because I think it looks so beautiful peeking out from behind a light layer of foundation or tinted moisturizer. It just gives you a really natural ethereal glow. Without makeup on top, it's still really beautiful because it just gives you a soft, focused sheen to the skin. I really liked this one this year. And then to mix in with foundation, to give foundations that don't have any shimmer to them, to just kind of give them a little bit of bounce back and be able to reflect a little bit more light. I loved the Cover FX Sunlight Drops. These are really concentrated, so 1 drop is even too much. I would just use half a drop. Like, honestly, that little amount right there is enough for the application of entire face. More than that and you just start getting kind of like Tin Man looking, so a little bit goes a long way with these, but they are amazing. You just kind of have to practice. Less is more with these because they are. For the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, so much this year. It was my go-to all of spring, all of summer, and all of early fall. I really love the coverage that this gives. It has a beautiful satin finish on its own. It pretty much sets itself. You don't have to use powder. I don't have to use powder when I use this. And then it also has a formula that's easily manipulated, so you can combine it with a lotion, you can combine it with oil, and it performs through and through. I love this foundation. And I also absolutely loved the Marc Jacobs Genius Gel Foundation. This foundation is just so customizable in terms of coverage. 1 layer gives you just a nice sheer evening out of the skin, but you can build it up to 4 layers and it still doesn't look cakey. It has the most gorgeous natural skin-like finish, and because of the gel formulation, it just glides over your skin like silk. It's a really beautiful foundation. I loved this one a lot, and I really feel like I have to mention the Hourglass Vanish Stick because I was really impressed with this and I use it a lot, even though it's one of my newer foundations. But this is so richly pigmented. A little bit goes a long way. It doubles up really well as a concealer. It doesn't crease. It doesn't move around on the face. I just love the finish of this foundation and how much coverage you get. So when I want more of a full coverage look, I will always go for this because it's a really beautiful, not cakey looking, it's a realistic finish on the skin, so I absolutely loved this as well. Loved NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer this year. I went through like 2 tubes of ginger because I use it for everything. It conceals under the eyes, redness on the skin, hyperpigmentation, pimples, you name it, the whole shebang. It does it all. I've forgotten to bring foundation with me on a couple trips, and I've used the concealer, just dotted all over my face and really blended it out. Used it as foundation a few times. It really does it all. I love the Radiant Creamy Concealer. And then Glossier Stretch Concealer. I use the shades medium and dark and sometimes mix them together to create a custom shade. This is the dewiest, most beautiful concealer you will ever use. If you want to just be a dewy dream girl, then you need to get the Glossier Stretch Concealer. It also is so richly pigmented. It covers really dark circles under the eyes, hyperpigmentation, but because it is dewy and reflects back a lot of light, it's not the best for using to conceal pimples. NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer might be a better all-around concealer, but the Glossier, if you want a really fresh, healthy looking appearance to your skin, try the Glossier Stretch Concealer, and it also just blends away into your skin to where you can't even really tell that you're wearing makeup. So I was a huge fan of Stretch this year. Charlotte Tilbury's Film Star Bronze and Glow was my favorite contour and highlight product this year. I love the contour shade. I think the contour and the highlight duo together, they're just the best no fuss, no muss contour and highlight product because the contour itself is really natural and it's more subdued. It looks like a real shadow. It has the slightest bit of shimmer to it, so it doesn't look too matte or chalky or muddy on the skin. It blends out beautifully. Same thing with the highlight, and it's what I used to contour and highlight my face today, and you guys can see it's just a really nice, subtle contour and highlight. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I just love the Charlotte Tilbury packaging. I really loved the Bite Multi-Sticks this year. They are formulated with a lot of powder, so they blend very beautifully on the skin, whether you use them on the eyes or the cheeks, and then you can also use them as lipsticks as well. My 3 favorite shades this year were definitely Mascarpone, Biscotti, and Mochi, so I really like these. I've never really been a big fan of blush until I tried cream blushes, and I absolutely fell in love. I loved the Jouer tints. My favorites were Petal and Bear, just 2 really great everyday colors that don't compete with an eye look or a lip color, just really natural and easy to pull off. Apply them with your fingertips. It's easy as easy can be. There actually was a powder blush that I really liked this year. It was the Marc Jacobs Air Blush, and my favorite was the one in Flesh and Fantasy. It's this really gorgeous neutral shade. I was a big fan of the Air Blushes because they all have a pearlescent sheen to them, so they give your skin a nice glow. They're not matte or chalky. They're really beautiful on the skin and just make you look healthy. So my favorite eyeshadow of 2016 has been through a lot. If I went somewhere for the weekend, it came with me. It went on multiple airline flights, and it looks like it's been to hell. I mean, it looks like it's seen some stuff. It is the Vincent Longo Single Shadow in the shade Ironic. But it is the most beautiful satin mocha brown with a nice, really rich, warm undertone to it that it looks really great on brown eyes. It's my favorite eyeshadow. I wear it all over my eyelid pretty much anytime I'm wearing eyeshadow. So yeah, I absolutely loved this. It is very well loved. And my favorite palette this year was the Charlotte Tilbury Dolce Vita Quad. I've said it before and I'll say it again, this is an absolute godsend for those of you with brown eyes like myself. It just really brings out the rich, honey, chocolatey tones of eyes, and it's incredible. This garnet shade is magical, and then so is this bronze shade. It's this really emollient micro glitter that you can wear on its own, or you can pack it on top of the eyelid as well, and it's just so beautiful. I mean, you can tell I really dig my grubby paws into this shade right here. I love that one too. I had 2 pretty major mascaras this year for similar reasons of why I liked it, but the effect was completely different. So the Maybelline Lash Sensational and Revlon Ultra Volume. These don't flake, they last a really long time, they don't smudge on the lower lash line, and they're really nice and black. They're just great long wearing mascaras. So I like Maybelline Lash Sensational because it really gives you that amazing spread out fan effect of the lashes. It's very separating, gives length, and it's just a really beautiful kind of like, yeah, fan out effect on the lashes. And then I liked the Revlon Ultra Volume for more of a flirty, demi-wispy type of effect. It's a very wispy, flirty lash. For brows this year, my favorite pencil was the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Ultra Fine Pencil because it just has that really great tiny tip, so you can create very realistic and tiny hair-like strokes. I like that it comes with the spoolie on the other end. And Glossier Boy Brow is also going to win my 2016 Best Brow Gel, just like it did last last year, but it's a really great brow gel. It's very versatile because it's tinted and it's a wax-based pomade, so it adds shape and definition to the brow while also making the brows look more plump and more full because it kind of builds upon itself the more product you put on, and it always looks really natural and feathery, and I just love Glossier Boy Brow. These two together, really great. Highlighters. So I really loved cream highlights this year. It's like 2016 was the year of creams for me. I was like, cream products do such amazing things for dry skin. So I really loved the Glossier Haloscope highlighters, Quartz and Topaz. I like to mix them together, and I think they create a really beautiful custom shade. But Quartz is a lot lighter and what I can get away with on a daily basis. If I'm tanned, I can wear Topaz, but they have this amazing balm in the core. So they look really wet and shiny on the skin. It's like a true dewy finish highlight, and they're not shimmery, they're not really glittery, they look like wet dewy skin. It's a really beautiful look, so I would definitely recommend the Glossier Haloscope highlighters as well as the Jouer cream highlight in the shade Tier. In the pan it almost looks like an antique gold, but on the skin it's a lot softer and it's just like a true light gold finish on the skin. It's really beautiful. I love cream highlights. They look prettier, in my opinion. I had 4 lip pencils that I really loved this year. The first one is the Marc Jacobs Longwear Lip Pencil in the shade Nudist. It's what I'm wearing on my lips today. It's just a great nude lip pencil. I'm all for nude lip pencils. These are all nude lip pencils, but I really liked them all in their own ways. I was really a huge fan of the Bare Minerals Gen Nude Lip Pencils in Vibe and Freestyle. Can we have a moment of silence for my Gen Nude Freestyle pencil? It snapped in half while I was getting ready to film this video because I dropped it and I stepped on it, and now it's just like in 3 pieces. So I'm gonna try to salvage it, but Freestyle was definitely my favorite. Vibe comes in close second. I also absolutely loved the Laura Mercier lip pencil in Chestnut. I wore this all summer long. This was my color of choice for the summertime. And then I also really loved the Rimmel Exaggerate lip liner in the shade Addiction. This is like one of my go-tos since high school, so it's pretty much always probably gonna be my go-to. I had a lot of lip favorites this year. One of the biggest ones was the NARS Velvet Matte Lip Pencil in Bahama, just a great everyday kind of color. And then you guys know how much I really loved the NARS Velvet Lip Glides, and my favorite shade was Bound. They're like a ultra long wearing, super pigmented lip gloss. They're beautiful. Check them out if you haven't already. I would highly recommend those. And then I had 2 absolute lip gloss favorites this year. So the first one was the Glossier lip gloss. It's incredible. It's really long wearing. I don't think they advertise this as long wearing, but it is the longest lasting lip gloss that I've ever tried. And then my Dior Beige Sunrise Lip Maximizer. I wore this to death. I mean, if you look at the packaging, it's pretty much almost gone. I need to go get another one, but every time I wear this, someone asked what it was on my lips. So it's a really beautiful nude lip gloss, and it makes your lips look maximized because it is a lip plumper, so it's really amazing. I love that. And then my favorite nude lip colors of the year, I loved the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade London. I use this a lot in videos. I loved the Maybelline Touchable Taupe lipstick, a really beautiful darker nude. It's more on the brown side, but still a nude. And then my favorite nude lipstick of the entire year was Marc Jacobs No Angel. It's this absolutely gorgeous, slightly peachy, but more of a beige neutral nude, and it's so pretty on the lips. And I also keep a mini of it in my purse so that when I wear it, I can touch up. But it's just been like my go-to nude lip color, and I wear it pretty much with everything. It's so pretty. It looks good with everything. And I also really loved red lips. You guys know that I love red lips. My 2 favorites were both by Jouer. I loved Jouer Brick and Jouer Fraise Bonbon. So Jouer liquid lip creams are my favorite formulation that there is. So I really loved those. And my favorite finishing spray was the Tatcha Dewy Luminous. I don't think there's anything else quite like this. It gives you the most beautiful milky sheer pearlescence on the skin, and then it just makes your skin look incredibly dewy. It just puts a lot of life and dewiness back into your skin. So I loved that. I always finish off with the Tatcha Dewy Luminous Skin Mist. And my favorite beauty tool of the year was, again, the Beauty Blender. I don't think anything compares to this. This one is absolutely filthy, but I ordered 2 new beauty blenders from Sephora, one for me and one for you. So if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram because I'm gonna do another Instagram giveaway of a beauty blender, the black one. Go follow me on Instagram. Alright guys, so that's it for my 2016 favorites. Everything's gonna be linked in the description box down below, so be sure to check there. And also don't forget to come follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm gonna have all 3 in the description box as well. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching this one. Bye guys.